Thank you for being here. We thank you for joining us for this very special conversation. Before we start, let's have a word of prayer. I would like to ask Elder Mark Charles to lead us in prayer, if you don't mind, please, sir.
All right. Our Heavenly Father, down in heaven, first of all, I'd like to thank you for giving your only Son, Jesus Christ, to die on the cross for our sins.
Yes,
I thank you for giving us this opportunity to worship you the right way. Help us to have a wonderful Sabbath school. I pray that you please help us to learn and apply everything that we get today from Pastor. And help us to participate as much as we can. And help us to truly understand what we're going to learn today. In Jesus' name, I thank you, now say and pray. Amen.
Amen. Praise the Lord. All right, man. Listen, I haven't had a week like this in a long time, if not to say ever. I mean, I understand that this thing's been going on in a for forever now, and social injustice has been really a prevalent part of American society and our culture, and even as far as like 4 weeks ago, that thing that happened in Georgia with the young man that was running, and then two guys, one of them a former police officer. Of course, we're going to be talking together. If I give any misinformation, go ahead and correct me. I don't remember all the names, but I just remember some of the situations. And so this young man was running, I believe down, in the neighborhood. He wasn't robbing anyone. He wasn't doing anything wrong. He was just running, exercising. Two Caucasian men, two white men, one of them a police officer, decided that this man should not live another day. And they chased him down and they shot him. And it took, I don't remember how many days, but was it 10 days or some long period of time where, nothing was done. They were not investigated. They were not arrested, and this young man was dead. I believe it was 4 weeks ago, maybe 3-4 weeks ago. I don't really remember exactly, but then a young man was sleeping in his home with his girlfriend, and this lady is a frontline worker, I believe, a nurse, and the police came unannounced at 1 a.m. I mean, who does that, right? You'll come at 1 a.m. in somebody's home. Of course, their defense mechanism gonna be up because I didn't invite you. You don't say you're the police. You just, barge in, just bust my door open. And of course, he had a gun, started defending himself. And the police just sprayed the house. And this young lady, how old was she? 26? I forgot, but in the 20s, frontline worker, had a baby. Even the baby had a bullet that has gone through her. Young lady died. I believe now the young man who was in the home protecting his property, I believe he got charged, got arrested, for shooting at an officer. I don't even know if the officer was dead or not, but his girlfriend died. Nothing happened. And mind you, now they got the wrong house. That was not even his home. They got the wrong house, and the young lady lost her life for no reason. The man's in jail and all of that. All right, so all this is happening, and we don't even want to go way back, but we know everything that's been happening. But then this week, my wife told me, "Hey, listen, have you seen what happened with this man?" Whatever. I said, "What happened?" His name is George, and the police basically executed him on the street. I mean, like a dog, really. And I like to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. I'm one for peace as a minister. You don't want to just, fuel the fire and be like, oh, hey, black power, this and that. Because I'm not into all of that. I stand for justice, but at the same time, I'm not trying to elevate one race over another or, trying to start anything. But then I said, "Oh, you know what, let me just see the video and give them the benefit of the doubt to see what happened because, what they say, right, is that many times we put ourselves in harm's way. When I say ourselves, I'm talking about, black men or black folks. They usually say that we put ourselves in harm's way. Why? Because we don't comply, and we may have a bad attitude or resisting whatever. So, I said, okay, let me just see this. What's happened here, to see if it was one of those cases where you can say, hey, if he didn't do this, then that wouldn't happen. Man, I saw that tape, man. My heart just sunk, man. My heart just sunk. The man was in his car, right? I don't know what happened prior. I think, from what I understand, the store owner was saying that he tried to pass out a fake $20 bill or whatever. Um, then they went to his car, arrested him, handcuffed him, brought him in front of the store, sat him down. A grown man, 6'6", 46 years old. Um, that's already humiliating enough, right? Then, next thing you know, man was on the floor on his face with 3 police officers on him, one of them with their knee on his neck, while the man, a grown man, pleading for his life, asking the police, please, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Just please stop. And even the kid that was filming said, hey, y'all gonna kill him. Get off of him. And they kept playing with him as if he was a dog, man. Like, yo, get up, get up. How the man gonna get up when you're already on him? And then he's handcuffed. What can a handcuffed man on the ground do to you? The man called on his mama. That was already, she was on his dead mama. It's not like she's alive. She was dead. When a man calls on his mama, that's the last resort. The man peed on himself until he became unresponsive. And then you tell me, and then the next day, the prosecutor said, well, they don't find sufficient charges, or cause to press charges on these men. And all these 4 officers there, nobody had one, not one of them has any sense to say, hey, man, that's enough. Just get off of him. Dude, this has messed me up than anything else that's ever happened, because when I
Pastor, you froze.
and then yesterday, I was watching the news with my wife early morning, and I've never seen anything like this happen in my lifetime ever, and I don't think anybody has ever seen that. Where a reporter by the name of Omar Jimenez, he's a black Hispanic, while he's live on the air, right? Live on the air, got arrested for no reason. And the man was very nice, compliant. So I said, you know what? We can't just, as a church, we can't just, keep going with business as usual. You know what I mean? And we're just doing our Sabbath school lesson. We just go on with our programs and not address these things, because I strongly believe that if Jesus was still alive today, when I say alive physically, amongst us, he would have stood up for injustice and done something about it. And I've been messed up with this thing for the past few days, and I'm like, yo, we got to do something. And I know our churches are doing something about it, even if you don't hear from, the president of the general conference or the president of the conference, whatever. but some of our churches are doing something. This afternoon, I'm going to be part of there's going to be another program this afternoon, and I can send you the link on Zoom where they're going to be talking about this some more. And so many of us are outraged by what's going on. We are angry, and some people are afraid to say they're angry, but the Bible says, be angry, but sin not. This is what I call righteous indignation, meaning that we're not just being upset just to be upset, but we have to say enough. Okay, this is enough. This is enough. As a minister of justice, I am tired of seeing our young people being killed. I'm tired of seeing injustice being done, and I just want to talk about it, see how you guys feel. And I know I'm heavy. The man is close to my age. It could have been my big brother. I'm 40 years old. 40. The man is 4'6". It could have easily been my big brother. It could have easily been me. And I'm thinking, yo, what if I'm on my way to do a visitation or go to church or going to church, and then I get stopped, and then boom, it goes whatever, and I could just leave and not come back and see my wife and kids. Like this what our life is worth. Anyway, so I just open up the floor, man. Sorry for venting, but it's just I lost some sleep over it, man. My mood has changed, and I've been very messed up in the head, man. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I just want to be vulnerable to you guys and just say, man, this is messed up. I'm sorry that we have to live in this society, but Jesus has told us, this was gonna happen. I'm not even trying to talk Bible with y'all now. Of course I'm gonna have a few verses, but I ain't trying to preach at y'all. So let's just talk and have a conversation, man. What's up, man? Talk to me.
Yeah,
How y'all feeling? Yeah.
Pastor.
Yeah.
This situation here, it messed me up as well, because it's so crazy that we've been seeing this for so many years, and for them to do this blatantly on camera, it just shows the lack of sympathy. And what you were talking about, the charge of the officer, there was a report that even said that they were trying to blame it on the pre-existing conditions of Mr. Floyd. Um, they were trying to say that he died from heart disease to lessen the blow of the officer.
Wow.
So we see that, how corrupt the system is. And as a Black man, you have to be able to tell your kids, who are growing up, that society looks upon them in a negative light because of their skin tone.
Dude.
How are they gonna understand this? And people, and for the young generations who are going to be the future, who may want to bring kids in this world, they
Yeah.
may find that fear now.
Yeah.
Because of what's going on. So,
And I'm having to thank God that I don't have any sons. I'm like, yo, I don't know how I would explain that to my son, and and to see that you raise a child. We haven't slept for the past couple of years with those kids, changing diapers and doing all this, and you're spending money sending your kids to school, you're pouring life into them, and 10, 12, 15, somebody just take them like that from you, man. It's just crazy, man. I'm like, God, where is this going? Where's this going? And it's been, and I'm saying that about young men, but they've been beating on women too. Like they've been punching them and mistreating them. So it's not even a gender thing anymore. They're being more bold than ever. Yeah, man. Thanks for that, Jace, man. It is just Justin. It's really been hard, man. Go ahead and talk to us, man. What's up? Anyone else that want to share how they feel? Like,
Pastor,
yeah.
when I saw the video, man, I'm not gonna lie, I felt so much rage in my heart. I had to pray about it. I really felt like I've never felt angry in my life before when I saw the video.
Man, dude.
And I'm extremely disappointed in our government. The fact that they're so corrupt that they were gonna let something like this actually slide. And I found out that this is the fastest a police officer's actually been prosecuted for a situation like this before, compared to all the other incidents that happened. And that goes to show you how much power we the people have when we're actually put our mind. Because I've been seeing a lot of petitions on Instagram and Twitter with hundreds of thousands of people signing it, trying to pressure the prosecutor into persecuting the police officer. And I've also noticed that elections are right around the corner. So I'm probably thinking that this could be a way for the people who are trying to run for the elections to appease the people in order for them to be elected for another run into the whatever they're trying to do. So right now I'm just trying to pray to God in my heart that I don't allow this to affect me, because I'm really angry right now.
You're not alone, man. You're not alone. And this is what I was saying, piggyback on what you're saying, brother. If this is an election year, right? And they're still acting this way, like nobody's running to fix this thing, even though it's an election year, it shows you how bold people are now with just this racism. Like they don't really care anymore. Blatantly in broad daylight, it's on camera. So what? That shows you where we are, man. And so based on what's happening, guys, are you fearing for your life? Are you fearing for your loved ones? How are you feeling right now? Talk to me. How has this affected you? Really? I mean, we're taking this long to talk about some of this dire. Like, what's up?
I thought you were still talking to Marvin.
No, yeah, he's done.
Well, Pastor, I'm a thug, man. I'm ready for war. But at the end of the day, no, honestly, I feel so bad. I deal with anxiety and stuff like that, and all this stuff on top of each other, and I don't know where to start. And I'm start asking myself, God, what are you doing? Please help us. It's time. It's been from day one, from life beginning, and we're still suffering day after day. You understand? It hurts my heart to see every day the Black man is dying. I don't have no kids yet. By the time I have kids, they probably don't have no man to create a family with.
Yeah.
You scared for your nephew, you scared for your sister, you scared for your grandma, man. And you can't say nothing because they have the upper power.
Yeah.
It's like ain't nobody fighting for us. We fighting for ourselves, and we can't even stand one another. Black people against Black people, Spanish against Black people, white against Black people, Asian against Black people. Who do we have?
Jesus, man. Jesus.
We only have Jesus, yes.
That's all we have.
We only have Jesus, but there's no peace without war. So eventually we have to stand up and say, enough is enough. Because all my friends, they're messing up in their mind. And, they have kids. I don't. But their mind it's been crazy lately all this week. They mentally can't take it.
Yeah. This. I'm telling you, even man, this week has been like so hard, so heavy on me, man.
I love God and I have faith. But you have another side. We have two sides. You know what I'm saying? So if we let the other side take over, it's not going to be pretty.
Yeah.
So we're trying to maintain on God, waiting on God. But I'm like, Lord, please, when you going to fight? When we going to stand up? When people are going to realize that we are human? We're like, we're not animal. You see, I got a dog. I love my dog. I treat my dog like he's supposed to be treated. My dog probably get treated better than a human being get treated.
Yeah, and to back up what you're saying, Didi, I believe I was reading somewhere where they say Donald Trump passed a law for
he said kill us.
No, not even that. I'm talking about for the animal abuse. For animal abuse, you get $10,000 fine and some jail time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
that's what you were saying.
Yeah. So now you're thinking, okay, if somebody were doing this to a dog, let's say somebody put their foot on the neck of a dog like this, and the dog was barking until it was unresponsive, do you know how much reaction you will get?
Yes.
Look what they did
So
to
true.
Michael, the guy that did the billboard. I don't know what his name, the football player, Michael Vicks, I guess.
Yeah. When he was doing fighting,
Look at the lady in New York in the park, how she was treating the dog. They didn't do nothing to her.
Right. And was she slapping?
She was stroking the dog. The dog was like, hell. They're making it comfortable now to kill us. It's comfortable. And then everybody else could come and kill us. It's okay.
Oh man. Robin, I think Robin, you raised your hand. Robin Forbes. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did not. I heard his name floating around, and I knew what had happened, but I didn't even go to like do research because I was so weary of hearing this story over and over again. Like, I was just like, I don't even want to know. I don't want to know what happened, but at the same time, I feel like there's a responsibility to, you know, to know. And so yesterday, I go and I'm like looking at the videos and I'm looking at the autopsy reports and whatnot. And I had not cried in so long, but I could not keep my composure.
Yeah.
Just the fact that somebody could be murdered in broad daylight, and then officials have the audacity to come out and say, we don't have reason to believe that there was
that was dagger right there.
It's almost like these people have a template for when they murder Black people, and they just fill in the gaps every time and release these statements because it doesn't even make any sense. Like, there's no way that you could see this happen and say, we don't have any reason to believe that he was murdered. And then to turn around, I don't know if anyone else noticed this, but like at the end of the statement that they released on his autopsy report, they said his death was a combination of coronary disease, being restrained by the police that may have made his heart act up or whatever, and then any intoxicants that may have been in his system. They're trying to criminalize him after they murdered him to say, oh, well, he may have been on drugs. First of all, if y'all did an autopsy report, you would have found intoxicants. So you didn't find any. You're just trying to throw this out there to make him look like a criminal as if he deserved to die the way that he did.
Well, even criminals have right in this country. Even if he was a criminal, you know, that's inhumane how they treated the man. And I saw another article about him where they were talking about how, you know, he left Texas to come and start a new life in Minneapolis. And the first thing that the article said was, you know, painting him as a thug, as a, you know, thief. You know, I guess he got into some trouble before where there was a robbery, and he and his friends, they came and whatever. So that's what they put in the forefront. So the man did his jail time. Okay, he paid the price, and he started, you know, over from where he was to he went from Texas to Minneapolis to make sure that, you know, he's out of trouble. He had 2 jobs. He's driving the trucks, and he was driving a truck, and he was also a bouncer at a Latina nightclub or whatever. And, you know, the man was doing his thing. So just because somebody made a mistake in the past, that don't mean, and that's the very first thing they put up, you know, in the forefront of the story to make it seem like, hey, that's you know, he's not worth it. He deserved to die. He should have died, and it's okay. And this is, and folks, I want you to pay attention to what's happening. This is what, you know, will be done to any of us, you know, and that's why, you know, as Christians, as young people, we are to you know, walk in our P's and Q's, man. We have to, you know, dot every I and cross every T, make sure that they find no flaws in us, or as little as possible. I'm not saying what they. Of course, I'm not condoning what they're saying. I'm condemning it blatantly. But I'm just going from from one side to the other to let us know, hey, the better we can do, the less these people will find to say about us, because that's what they're trying to do, to paint us as criminals, as dangerous. And I heard the lady who owns the nightclub that he was working at. She said that the police that killed Floyd worked for her before in the past, and Floyd was also working for her. And she said that whenever there were a lot of black people at the nightclub, and all the police, they were tense. They were like, oh, get in, whatever. And every little fight, they have pepper spray, they have guns, they're ready to do something. When it was predominantly Latino or other races, everything was calm. So we are painted as a threat. We are painted as dangerous. And so whenever these people see us or a black man, they get tense. And I don't know if they're doing that because of their racism or if they're doing that out of real fear. I really don't know what's happening with that. Jeannie, go ahead and talk to us.
Yes, Pastor Ruben. So, hi everybody.
Yeah.
It's like a war raging at me because I don't know direction to think in. Like, I don't know if we need a lesson in mere humanity, like how to be human beings, or if in the sense of when a cop stops me, if I'm supposed to make peace with them or if I should retaliate. In Pastor Ruben, it's so difficult trying to be a Christian, let alone not even a Christian, just a good person in this world, because hatred will stir up in your heart.
Jeannie, there's an echo going on
Robin needs to mute her phone.
Oh, Robin, okay. All right.
Maybe, is it better now?
Yeah, it's better now. Yeah.
Yeah, but just continuing what I was saying, it's just like hatred stirs up. And I was watching the activist video that they had with George Floyd's best friend and all of these people that came, and it was so sad to hear how they were talking about him and how of a good man that he was. Like, feel that the police, it didn't have to go to this extent. If he would have just removed his knee from this man's neck, none of this that is occurring right now, these protests will be happening. And Pastor Ruben, if you take a look at the police officer's body language, he enjoyed that.
Yeah. His hand in his pocket, well relaxed,
Well relaxed, and he kept pressing his knee. Man, I'm just at a place right now where I just have so much remorse in my heart. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to think. And it scares me. Literally, when I walk, when I go somewhere, I'm like, am I next? Even though I'm not a male. I'm an African American woman,
Yeah. Oh, they be busting y'all in the lips too. I heard they be slapping the women and they're punching them, and it's ridiculous, man. It is ridiculous, and to see how far our country has come from. We're in 2020 and we're seeing this. Somebody was saying like, okay, if we're in 2020 and it's happening like this, we have not made any progress. I said, well, we've gone the opposite. It's 200 years later, we're still here. That's not even progress. We're going backwards. Man. And this to show you, man, it is so heavy. It is so heavy. And I was reading some stuff on him because I've done a lot of research on the man to see who he was. His back in high school they used to call him the gentle giant.
Yeah.
And you can see from his demeanor, he wasn't a violent guy. And he had a friend of his that used to be a former basketball player. And he was saying how back in the day they used to have feuds and beefs with between neighborhoods. He said this guy was the only guy amongst them that could have gone to any neighborhood he wanted because he was the peacemaker. Everybody respected him, and for him to see that. And I don't know if did you guys see the other video where it was not just one person on him. It was three other officers on the man.
Yes. I saw that.
why? Okay, I understand you say it's fear, but the man is already handcuffed. What kind of threat can he pose?
Yep.
And then why would you have to face this man down on this dirty street under a car? You know what I'm saying? Like, first of all, even if that didn't kill him, but microbes, you know what I'm saying? You're close to the sewer. The man is just I don't know, man. Okay, Justin, go ahead and talk to us.
Yeah, Pastor. Usually I don't agree with violence, with the violence that's going on.
Yeah.
But you know, throughout history, there's been so many peaceful protests, right? You go from the Montgomery bus boycott with Rosa Parks.
Yeah.
You go from the I Have a Dream march with Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
And you see, we still come to this and there is no change, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you look at, how the government is trying to put us in a negative, the negative light, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're trying to say that we're only violent protesters, but they don't really understand what we've been going through. Because another incident, I don't know if you know about this story in Tulsa, Oklahoma, when the white folks, when they were burning black businesses, which was Black Wall Street.
Wow.
That was a form of violent protesting as well. But they try to hide that and, bring out our negative.
They don't talk about these things. They don't talk about
No,
it.
they don't talk about these things. They're trying to hide it. So we, in a sense, I don't agree with the violence, but I understand why the people are outraged the way they are.
Wow. Well said. And I heard, I was listening to Joy, I think Joy Reid, AM Joy from MSNBC. And she said something that I hadn't thought about before. She said, okay, people want to call this riot. And she said, that's not a riot. She said, when the white folks were burning the people's houses just because they had a nice neighborhood. I forgot exactly what she said. I don't know if any one of you know that story. What they had a nice, like the black people, they were coming up. They had a nice neighborhood. They're doing their stuff like that they're supposed to, and they started burning their homes for no reason because they were living too nicely. She said, "Now that's a riot. That's a riot. If
that's hateful.
Yeah, that's hateful. But those people, what they're doing on the street is just they're expressing their anger. Of course, as Justin said, do we condone that violence? I don't condone it because I wouldn't want my business to be burnt to the ground like this. I wouldn't. And I think somebody died from the riots. I wouldn't want people losing their lives. And even the former the friend of George, the former basketball player, he was saying that he doesn't think that George would have wanted that. You know what I'm saying? He wouldn't want that because he was such a gentle guy, just a nice peacemaker guy. But as Justin said, you may not condone it or you may not agree with it, but at least you can understand. It's pretty much understandable. Not to say justified, but it's understandable that when people are angry or when people have been taking so much, enough is enough. And and we can't really put everyone in the same sack because we can see that it's a lot of white people. It was a lot of white people at the protest. So we're not alone, and we have a bunch of white people who are nice and who are not racist, who are hurting just as much as we are. And some of them even more. Some of them, they're ashamed of what it is. And they really carry the burden with us. And I can guarantee if it wasn't that many white people, they probably would have had extreme measures already. Because I think, was it Trump that said kill him or something like that or shoot him? That's what I heard. I don't know.
Yes.
The riot start.
Yeah.
The shooting starts.
He said once the looting starts, the shooting starts.
You see that? So when somebody says something like this,
crazy.
Can you imagine if it wasn't a bunch of white people doing this? They would have just shot everybody and then just call it a day. But when the white people stand, of course they succumb to this. We don't condone violence. We don't agree with it. We're not saying that they should, but I think it's clear why the people are doing what they're doing.
Pastor,
Robin, yes, okay.
Real quick, they condone the white kids when they have a football game, they burn down stuff, act crazy. They was like, oh, they're crazy. They just have mental issues. But us, we do it. We the thugs, with everything in the book. They don't condone our feelings.
Yeah, it's a double standard for sure. That's for sure. There's and I never thought I would. Well, I never wanted to express that aloud. I know that's the private, it's a private sentiment of mine, and I should keep it in my home. But after this, man, I'm like, hey, listen, it's clearly a white America and a black America. Okay, it's when there's and when Joy was saying, when they say Black Lives Matter, they were not trying to say it matters more than another life, but they just say stop killing us. You know what I'm saying? We matter just as much, like and it we need to wake up and smell the coffee and realize that the kind of world we're living in, and then to know how to really take this information. And because if we're not careful, we can be consumed with this and become one of them. And that's where our Christianity will come in. That's where our spirituality comes in. Okay, Robin, go ahead.
Yes, just going off of what you said about not wanting to express those ideas, but then now it's like you just have to say something. I feel like it's the media's job to be objective about how they present things, and we know that they hardly ever are, but at some point I feel like objectivity starts to become subjectivity because it's serving these people's agenda. Like if you're not people in power, the media, government officials need to stop trying to be cordial about this, because there's nothing cordial about the situation, and call things as they're actually happening, because otherwise, in trying to be objective, you're helping to cover up all the stuff that's going on. It's not serving anyone. And then just seeing this image, like actually to watch someone lay on the ground and die, it's so discouraging, because we like to look back at history and we talk about Martin Luther King Jr., we talk about Rosa Parks and Malcolm X and all the people in this country who helped to give us, the rights that we have. And we think, we've come so far, so much has been accomplished. And then you see something like this and it shows you that nothing has changed. The US does not change because the power is in the same place. How can there actually be some type of change when the power distribution has not shifted? The same people who were in charge the same kinds of people who were in charge when people were slaves in this country are the same kinds of people who run the country now. They only ever give us enough leeway to satisfy us just enough so they can keep doing what they're doing. And it's so frustrating. It's like the laws are the same kinds of laws. They just reword them so that it's, it's a more modern way for them to do the same thing. Same laws that allow them to have people incarcerated for possession of whatever, when white people can go and open up I forget the word. I'm so frustrated now. Or whatever, and they're applauded for the same type of behavior. Yeah. And then it's like the thing that I don't get, like, if you wanted to arrest this man, all you had to do was put handcuffs on him and put him in the car. You had ample time to do that. But you had handcuffs on him and you decided not to arrest him, not to take him in. You wanted to what's the purpose of having him laying on the street? Right. Waiting for more cops to come?
Humiliation enough. That's a grown man. Yeah. Ah, my goodness, man. And you said it so well. And we have to reiterate this thing because when you talk about objectivity and subjectivity, it is so funny how people try to be objective when something happens with the Caucasian. Hey, we can't really say this term allegedly, and we have to wait for the investigation. But when it's a black person, oh man, they're already guilty before found, innocent, before proven innocent. And if they're already a criminal, they're already this, they're already that. And so the subjectivity becomes obvious when it's not in their favor. And I understand what you're saying. And the thing about it is, objectivity has left the building a long time ago. Robert, I don't know if you ever watch Fox News. I don't believe you will think that you're still living in the same world. It's world one, world two, right? When you watch Fox News and you watch MSNBC or you watch, CNN, it's like you're living in two different worlds. What they're talking about and whatever. So I believe it's Fox News, the conservative media, they don't really care about objectivity at all. They only stand for what they want, and that's why they keep fueling their people. And when President Trump speaks, he speaks directly to them. He takes cues from them, and it's really not real journalism, as somebody said right here. This is very ridiculous. And I'm sorry to say this, of course, if you speak like this in an open forum publicly, we're going to condemn what you're saying, but this is the reality of what's happening. I believe Cookie wanted to say something, and then Asha.
Yes, I believe they really want to paint us as being an angry and a violent people.
Yeah.
Because there is a video now circulating on social media saying the riot or looting didn't start with our people. It was actually a white cop who started that. He had a mask on. There was a video. And guess who identified him? His ex-wife said, "This is so-and-so." And while he started breaking stuff, there was that black guy following him and asking him, "What are you doing? Who are you?" And he was running away. He was running to go to his car. So we can only imagine what they are trying to do to us. Not only they are killing us, but they are doing things to
paint us in it.
Differently.
Because if they can get the popular opinion to be on their side, then they have won the battle. Because I don't know if you noticed, and I think you told me, Cooks, you showed me something about this guy that was saying, I think he said he had the cap on that says "Make White Great Again" or something like that.
Yes,
and
that
then
was
he said
actually the same cop.
It was the same cop who did that, and he was squeezing a black thing, and he was saying, "Well, I'm glad one less piece of S is on the street."
What?
So it was him bragging about this thing?
No, he was not. Somebody else said that,
Okay,
and that person is a businessman. So everybody is after his business now. Now, because he sees that everybody is after his business, he's saying, "Well, somebody hacked my page. I changed my password now." But somebody else said, "Well, that's not true, because back in 2008, this is what you said about President Obama. So did the same thing happen to you in 2008?
Yeah, and you see how they could change the narrative, like they could lie and whatever, and then that's it. It's a wrap. But if it's us, they'll find a way to condemn it and say, you couldn't have been hacked and this and that. And to hear after something like this happened, for somebody, a human being, to say, "I'm glad this happens." There's one less piece of S on the street, and it's okay. That shows you where we are as a human race. It is crazy, and the Bible talks about that. The Bible talks about that. Asha, go ahead and talk to us.
Pass. I just want to say this thing gonna happen over and over again.
Yeah.
Us as Black people, we too forgiving. Look, I bet if they go, the Minnesota governor come, give us an award, apologize to us, we forgot that happened.
Wow.
This is why it's going to continue to happen. We never stand up for what we believe. 1 second, they just make an official apology, and then we all forget. Look what happened to Trayvon Martin. His mom, they just give him a reward. They recognize that. We don't hear anything about that anymore. And if it was a Latino person that happened to, guess what? They would go to the house. They would have made a law to protect the Latino people, for that would never happen again. We never pass a law. We never stand for what we believe. All we do is just, it's an accident. Let's just forgive it. So when are we gonna stand up and say, hey, you know what? Enough is enough. We're gonna go to the House of Congress or whatever and pass and make a law that's gonna protect Black people.
So this is a good segue to my next segment. What I want to talk to you about. But before I get there, what I wanted to say to you, Asha, is I would refer you to what Robin said earlier. It's the same people that were in charge. That it's from slavery. It's the same people that's there now. I mean, look at Congress and look at the Senate and look at the House. Right? You have the people in the House trying to do the best they can to make laws that can protect us. But then when they get to the Senate, it doesn't pass, and then that's why. That's why we cannot put our trust in government, okay? Because there's no, and as you said, Asha, it's gonna keep happening because it's gonna be the same people in power. Check this out, right? President Obama has made some laws that can help and protect certain things, right? Okay, we'll talk about as soon as this man comes, he try to reverse everything because he has the power to do that. You have House. The House that try to do something to reverse what's happening, it doesn't pass when it gets to the Senate.
So, Pastor, we should do the same thing. We should do the same thing that we used to do, separate from them. The same way it used to be in the Black, we have our Black little neighborhood now. They do it, and then little by little, we come out of this system. Because we don't own anything.
That's what I'm saying. But look what they're doing. They're destroying all the Black men, all the viable, Black men, strong men. They're all incarcerated.
They're killing all the Black people.
And see, that's what the target is. If they can get the father of the home, if they can get the father of the house, then they already know
all of us.
That the children are not going to come right. They're going to be foster kids. They're going to be, all kinds of stuff. And every time I look at my kids, the way we're raising them, me and my wife, and I always say to my wife, now I understand how difficult it is for a single mother to raise a child. And if you don't have a father's presence in the home, it's going to go a different way. You know what I'm saying? It's a different way. Because when Cookie's saying something to them, and when I say something, it's two different things. Hey, stop. When I say, hey, stop. And then, there's a certain reverence. So imagine you take all the father figures away from the home. What's going to happen to our home, right?
It's down.
There's
no foundation.
And it's not just in politics, but it's in education. It's not proportion in education. You have lack of resources in our schools. You have counselors, telling our kids they can't do this, they can't do that, they shouldn't do that, giving them bad counsel. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. And I agree with you. Asha, that this thing is going to keep happening. And so now this is the segue. What do we do now? What can we do as a people? What can we do as a church? In fact, I'm going to throw this out there and talk about it. Not only we're going to try to answer what can we do, what have we done, but also, is the church doing enough? Do you think that Adventist church doing enough? If not, what do you think they can be doing or should be doing? I saw Cookie raise her hand, and then Robin, and then we're going to whoever else. Okay, Cookie, go ahead.
It's so funny that's exactly where I wanted to go.
Oh, okay, good. So,
and then I was about to say,
right.
well, I don't know if I should say that, but this needs to be said.
Yeah.
I don't think our church is doing enough.
Mm.
But I think they have started because yesterday, North American Division posted, they posted something on their Facebook page saying racism is a virus. But I don't think they went far enough. They were talking about the coronavirus. That some people said, well, it's that race, it's this race. I haven't watched the video that they posted, but it is about the coronavirus. And then I answered, I said, well, thank you for doing this. I think this is a great start, but we need to do more as a denomination.
Yeah.
We need to address white flight. We need to address all these kind of things.
Yes.
And then I said,